Greetings and welcome back to the workshop. In this video I'm going to show you how to manage your banks and presets in the Modal app. I will be using the Modal Electronics CRAFTsynth 2 to demonstrate the workflow, but it will likely be identical for other synths that use the Modal app to design and modify presets. From the factory, the CS2 has 8 banks of 8 presets, and they are kind of a jumbled mess. I'm far too OCD to accept that kind of random chaos, so I chose to bunch my like presets together in logical groups. Before we get started, let's take a quick look at where the Modal presets are stored on your computer and what they look like. I have a shortcut on my desktop to get to the preset folder, as it is buried deep within the operating system. I am using Mac OS and have very little knowledge of Windows architecture. If you are more familiar with Windows OS, then you'll probably be able to find the equivalent directories on your computer and follow along from there. So if I right-click on the title bar of this window, you can see where this folder is located in the OS. To get there, you will first need to go up to the Go menu and go to Folder. Here you will type in ~/library, which will open the library folder inside your user folder, whatever your username is, as seen up here in the top right. This folder is otherwise hidden. You can't directly navigate there. You have to use the go to folder command to get to that. So from here you can navigate to the location. I'll put it on screen. Pause the video, take a screenshot so you have a reference for when you try this yourself later. So here's the file for the CRAFTsynth presets. It's just an XML file. And if I do a quick look at this, we can see all the raw data of the presets. If I zoom in, you can see the bank name and the preset name. And there's 8 patches, and there's the end of the bank, and there's the start of the next bank, and so on. So this is where all your custom presets live. Whether they are made by you or you buy them from a sound designer, this is where they end up. You're going to want to make regular backups of this file after you make any changes to your presets. I have a presets folder and a CRAFTsynth folder with a folder for each time I make a backup. You should definitely make a backup right away of the factory defaults so you can restore to factory settings if you ever need to. I made a shortcut on my desktop so I can get to it easily, and to do that we just do this. If we right click on the title bar, let's go up one directory level to application support, and there we can Command Option drag the Craft app folder to the desktop. Okay, let's get into the CS2 and get into the Modal app. It launches into sound design mode, and if I change preset on the synth, the editor reflects those changes. If I click up here in the preset name, we get into the preset manager. Here on the left side we have the local banks and presets, the stuff that's currently on your computer right now, the XML file we just looked at a minute ago. You can use the scroll wheel on your mouse to scroll up and down through the list of banks you have created. If yours is a factory clean CS2, then you're just going to have 8 banks. If you click on each bank, the preset list updates, and you can click on a preset slot in the list and the CS2 updates, and you can audition that sound. On the right side, we have the banks and presets stored on the synth. There's only 8 banks on the synth, so there's no scrolly business going on this side. And down on the bottom is the Toolbox, a kind of temporary staging area to audition and collect presets before storing them in a bank. On my list, the first 8 banks are the stock factory banks, so I'm going to scroll back up to them and let's gather some base presets. We drag each preset down into the toolbox until the toolbox is full. To clear the toolbox, to build another bank, we click the Clear Toolbox button. If we just want to clear individual slots in the toolbox, we click the Clear Slots button to activate it, then select the slots we want to empty, and then click Clear Slots once more. We get the alert box, click OK, and those slots are now empty. So let's build another bank. Let's do some pads. Let's collect some pads into another bank. So I'm going to collect some of these pads. There we go. If you have an empty slot, say there's only 7 pad sounds that say pad in the name, for example here, audition some of the other preset names to see if they sort of fit the pad description. And this one here, the cassette one, that will do. So with our toolbox full, let's save ourselves a custom bank. So to group your presets together, first you need to make a new bank, and do that by clicking the New Local Bank button. At first glance, nothing appears to happen, but if you scroll down with the mouse scroll wheel over the bank list, you can see that I have a lot of banks already made. But if I scroll all the way down to the bottom and click on bank 22, you can see it has a new bank with 8 new init patches in there. Now, the next bit is crucial to pay attention to. Over here in the Save to Local, you must make sure to scroll down to your new empty bank. Take care not to save over a current bank. There is no undo. Unless you have made a backup of your defaults already. Make your backups, kids. So I'm going to scroll down to my empty bank 22, click on Save to Local. We get the alert where we can double check the bank name, hit OK, and if I scroll down to bank 22, you can see here is my pads only bank. So I've got my presets and banks nicely organized by type: bass, pads, keys, ARPs, leads, and you can see here the ones I already made for myself, all nice and tidy. If you right click on the bank list, you get the option to import or export the patches in that bank. So if you paid for a set of presets from a sound designer, this is where you'd import them. And I can also right click and import or export a single preset in that slot. I'm going to export this bank of pads. And if we go back to our folder on the desktop, you can see 8 individual sysx files that you can share with your friends. Finally, if you want to delete a local bank, select it from the list and click Delete Local Bank button, and then confirm your decision with the legal department. Okay, so next, you want to get all that organization onto your CS2. So let's reset my toolbox. We can drag each preset one by one into the toolbox, or better yet, we can drag a bank down onto the toolbox area and populate the toolbox that way. From here, we come over to the Save button on the remote side. Once again, we scroll to the bank we want to fill. I'm going to scroll to bank 8 and click Save To. We get the alert again to confirm our choice, click OK, and there the CS2 updates with its little update flash dance, and we can see our new bank on the remote side. If we just want to replace one preset in the remote bank with one from the local side, we can just drag it over onto the slot we want. We could of course fill the entire bank this way and skip using the toolbox. Horses for courses. There you go. I hope that helped. It was a little OCD nerdy, Well, it was a lot OCD nerdy, I guess, but it will help you manage your presets on your modal synths. Organize your local banks into logical groups and ultimately save those groups onto your CRAFTsynth, your skulpt, your argon, whatever. And don't forget, grab that XML file, put it somewhere safe, so you only have to do this the once.
As always, if you found this video useful, punch the likes out, slap up the comments, ring a ding dong on the subscribe, all that nonsense. Cheers for watching. See you next time.